Hello, GenRight Nation. Thanks everybody for watching. Obviously, if you're watching live, then you get a chance to win a $100 K&N gift card. I know we've got them around here somewhere. Usually I have one to show you, but everybody knows what a gift card looks like. Anyways, if you're watching live, you get a chance to ask a question by typing in a comment, and you just give me as much information as you can, and I can try and answer it best I can. Let's see, Tech Talk is something that we do every Wednesday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So Jen's here to read the questions back to me. We also have a special guest from Rhode Island. Alan Alvarez has been here all day, actually for the last few days, helping me work on Terremoto. We're trying to get it put back together, so we'll turn around in a second. Just Delaware, sorry. Somewhere way the heck back there. If you like this, please subscribe and turn on your notifications and share it with your friends. Obviously, this is good information that I'm trying to get to everybody. So let's see what we got here. You want to mention anybody watching?
Sure. Terry Mode says, hi, crazy Alan Alvarez.
Here, come over here, Alan. Say hi to everybody. I know, dude. We're like totally grubby.
What's up, Alan?
We've been underneath the Jeep up until like seconds before the show started.
Today has been the real deal. We've been working for the past 3 days.
And you said it was good because you actually learned a lot of stuff.
Right.
You know,
things that I want to now put on my Jeep.
Steve Bird says hi.
Hey,
Mike Stewart
Steve.
says hi. Kelly Sims.
All right, Big Kel.
Anthony Martinez. Daniel Hag.
Cool.
BB Tom. Joe Mink. Richard Peterson. Hello from warm NorCal. Sam Walker. Alan. Esther Parrott Newcomb. Hello from Virginia Beach. Laura Coda. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Scott Banks is watching. Jeff Lone. Hello. Hey, everyone. Good to see Terremoto again. Byron Roberts. Hello, Tony and crew. Tom Nagley is on. Justin Gambardini, Deborah Carnell, Don Cars, Rick Harrington, Richard,
That's great.
Chris Gooden, a lot of people.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Yes.
You guys see.
So one of the things that we're going to talk about as featured product today was one of your favorites.
Yeah.
Roll cages.
Yes.
So recently, there's been a video posted on YouTube. I think it was posted by Rockstar Garage from one of their Great American Crawls. A guy was going up, rolled, you know, it looked like it was going to stop, and then it continued to roll. The guy had a GenRight roll cage, and he probably went, what, 5 or 6 times?
5 or 6 times.
And he said the only thing usable on that whole Jeep is the roll cage. So, yeah.
Hey, Shane says, yo.
Who's
Hi,
that?
Shane.
Oh, nice.
Hi, Shane.
So, you know, we do have a sale going right now for free shipping.
Yeah.
So, great time. Roll cage is pretty heavy to ship, so it'd be a good time to get free shipping on that. Our JL cage, as everybody knows, that we patented this attaching style, and that's something we're pretty proud of. This cage turned out absolutely phenomenal. The latest one to get one is Tom Nagley, who's been posting everywhere about it. It really turned out nice. He's got that 392, and it's powder coated silver.
I think that became my favorite Jeep.
Yeah, me too, when I drove it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So we have one more picture of one of our cages installed in Aftershock. There's a great shot of it. So
Ginger,
So
hi.
after seeing that video,
yeah.
I think that will be your first upgrade.
Yeah, if you haven't done it yet, I suggest that you do. Certainly, it saved those guys' lives. When you know, a roll cage, honestly, a stock one's probably good for one roll. If you go over and over again, like you're
landing on the tree.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. So I don't even know who that gentleman is. I just saw the video and I could see. Obviously, it was a GenRight roll cage. Was it an LJ? It looked like an LJ, yeah.
It was
so, yeah, not a JL, but an LJ. And yeah, he was on a hill where it, you know, like a lot of us, went up, kind of bounced sideways, and then that was it. Which, you know, unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do in that situation. So you just try not to get there.
Oh, yeah. You guys got to stand close together if you want to hear Alan.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Anyways.
Bad Rubicon
I'm
says...
going to leave it with Tony. I'm going back to Terremoto, and I'll see you in a little bit.
Wait, are you going to be in Hot Springs, Arkansas?
I probably not.
He's trying to get to Smoky Mountain.
Smoky Mountain.
Yeah.
I have a lot of stuff to do in my Jeep. So.
Yeah.
Okay, Bad Rubicon says hi to El Loco Alvarez.
Yeah, and he was only supposed to be here for the weekend, but between flight cancellations and some other BS. That worked out for me because I've had extra help this whole time. So somebody up above is helping me out. Okay. So let's see what else we got here. Any questions, comments, roll cage stuff? I'm sure there's lots of comments.
Rick Turner says ready to wheel with you guys in Arkansas.
Excellent. By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, but because I'm going to talk about this in a second, but I'll just talk about it now. The Arkansas run on our website now has a sign-up page. We're going to have bitchin' new shirts that are just for that event. So you need to go on there, officially sign up, tell us what your shirt size is, and we'll make sure you get a shirt. That has to happen pretty quick. I leave next, Wednesday to start heading that direction. I'm going to stop in Grand Junction and wheel for, actually I'm going to stop, I think I stop in Sand Hollow, then I go to Grand Junction, wheel there for a couple of days, then we're going to move on to Oklahoma, and then over to Arkansas. So I've got several days coming up of cool wheeling. Can't wait to get back out. I love the summertime, and it's going to be awesome. So yeah. What else you got?
Mike Stewart, bring me a yellow hat.
A yellow hat, of course.
The fans are saying they want Terremoto to be yellow.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. And they're getting Nana on your case about it.
Is Nana on?
I don't know. But.
Well, at least, so I'm okay with that. I love the yellow too. However, for the rest of this year, it's going to stay just like it is to satisfy sponsors. So.
Okay, but then yellow.
Then yellow.
Question.
Yeah.
So the roll cage means no soft top, hard top, or no top only. Is that correct?
No. So that's a very common mistake. Every single GenRight cage is designed, and I don't care whether it's J, K, JL, TJ, CJ, YJ, every single one is designed for the factory hardtop and factory soft top, 100%. And if you notice, this one has the B pillar removed, so it looks really nice with the half doors. This actually drops right back on. Mine are right here. So here, this guy literally drops right back on there. You can see how we did it with a pin and some rubber, and then it bolts right onto the cage. Guys, this is the most well-designed product in the entire industry. We spent 2 years doing it. We've got 20 years of building roll cages before we even got to this one. So yeah, don't let anybody fool you. Now, I can tell you, most of the time, if you go to a shop and you get a custom built cage, yeah, your top is probably not going to fit. That is very common. But GenRight cages, the top fits every time.
Stephen Williams says, two-door soft top. Are there tabs on the cages that I can connect the factory soft top to?
You have to get a little soft top kit from us. We have a little extra optional kit that makes that work. And that should be on our website. If it's not, just call in and the guys, know what to get you.
Robert Wheeler, does the JKU cage work with the best top fastback?
It does. I had one on mine, and I've also had one on this. There's a little bit of where the door surrounds come on. You might have to do a couple mods. Again, everything we do is for the factory stuff for a whole bunch of reasons. But it will work with that stuff. So you just be ready to, obviously you're changing it up. So
Kevin K says, we're looking forward to installing our cage on the JLL.
Nice, nice. Yes, that's right. They haven't done that yet, huh?
Bad Rubicon asked, can a GenRight cage be reused on another Jeep?
It can. In fact, a buddy of mine, this is probably 15 years ago, out at Table Mesa in Arizona. TJ, with our cage, took it up, looped it, fell right on the roof of the cage. The Jeep was trashed. They literally pulled the cage out, put it in the next TJ. He built that and wheeled it for years after that. So I know a guy with a YJ, same thing. In fact, it was my cage that I had used for years. I sold to that guy. Then he launched it and reused it in the Jeep for many, many more years. So, yeah.
Gary Swagger said, one of the reasons I was determined to go with the GenRight cage for my JLU was that it would work with my soft top. That and the quality is second to none.
Yep, excellent. Thank
and
you.
Steven asked, does the kit you just mentioned include the tabs for the door surrounds? I have half doors.
We're back to the two-door?
For the soft top. The kit to connect the soft top that you said, does it have?
I think that was for the two-door. So most of the
I think so, yeah.
two-door stuff, again, it's designed for the factory soft top, whether it's two-door, four-door, or whatever. So we just adapt it to our cage, but it'll reuse all the door surrounds and all that stuff for whatever, whether you have hard doors or half doors or, full doors, whatever, yeah.
Lisa Nagley said, Tom's Jeep is so dang hot, I didn't think I could love it more. Roll cage is fire.
Nice.
It is, it's
nice,
sick. I saw
awesome.
a tour when they picked it up.
Awesome.
Price range to install a GenRight roll cage at a shop
Well,
for a JL?
For a JL? It depends. So you got a couple different ways to go about it, everybody. We designed this cage to reuse all the factory plastics and everything, seat belts, the whole 9 yards. It looks very, very factory when you put it all back together. If you expect a shop to do that, it's going to be pretty expensive. If you're a little bit handy and you can take a lot of that out and basically save the shop labor and just have them do the cage and you put the plastics back, it's literally going to be half price. So we've got some great shops we can refer you to depending on the area you're in, and they can do the whole thing or they can just do part of it. So just call in and let us know where you are and we can get you referred to a good local guy.
Tyler Hagan asked, does Washington have any ambassadors? Was seeing if there are any Jeep nights to go to in Washington.
Jeff, if Jeff's on, he could answer that. I don't know if he's on there or not.
And Matt McDonough asked, where and when are you wheeling in Oklahoma?
So we haven't disclosed that. If you have a Jeep on 40s or 42s and you know how to keep up, then please private message me or Jeff Perkins. But we're not waiting for anybody.
Kathy McCavis got the JL cage. She says it's very impressive.
Nice. Oh, that's right. They did it themselves.
Nice.
So there you go. Maybe they'd be willing to install one. They can chime in how much they'd charge.
There you go. Tom Nagley said that Campbell Enterprises did a great job and worth the drive to have them do it.
They did.
In Arizona.
I mean, they like us, they build race cars. I mean, you don't get more qualified than that.
Cameron Harris says, howdy.
Hey, Cameron. I almost came to see you in a couple days, but I got diverted to Grand Junction.
Do you guys want to see what's happening with Terremoto?
Yeah, I think they all want to
They
see
do.
Terremoto.
Okay, so we're going to spin around. Oh, wait. Oh, we don't want to ask the trivia. So don't forget, we're going to ask you a trivia question in a minute for that $100 K&N gift card.
End of the show.
Well, actually, can I start right here for a second?
Yeah.
Can you get over here and zoom in a little bit?
Sure.
I wanted to show you guys, these are the guts to a transmission. And it happens to be my transmission. So if you've never seen the inside of a automatic transmission, this is what it looks like. So this is part of the pump. These are the two halves of the pump. Well, this little gear, believe it or not, is the pump. And what happened is it got pushed back and it scarred this area right here. So by scarring that area, it lowered the pressure on the pump, which started to make the rest of the internals on the transmission malfunction. Now, if you've never seen how the pump inside an automatic transmission works, this is the actual pump. This little gear spins like this, and it actually makes this whole, that's how the pump works. Whoa. So the oil comes in right here, and as this spins, it creates the pressure. So it is pretty cool, and then it goes through all these little chambers that look like a brain, and this and this go together. That's so when you see the pump, when it's together, it looks something like that. But inside, these are some of the little pieces inside that it started to chew all the gears off, and then it ruined this drum, and then over here, it sheared off a bunch of stuff and wrecked all of this stuff. So pretty much there's not much more than a couple of shafts that go inside the transmission. So I have everything brand new inside my transmission. So let's spin around. So you guys have, if you've watched Tech Talk even remotely recently, you would see, sure, this hasn't had a front axle or a transmission or anything. It is shocks, nothing for a long time. So we just literally, if you watched us, we were live a couple hours earlier, and it was in pieces, and in the last 2 hours we've been able to put it together.
Ronald Smith, what do you think the skill level needs to be to install a GenRight cage in a CJ7?
Oh, in a CJ is much easier. And I should tell you, hang on, just stay there.
Stay there, Alan.
What's really cool is that all of this stuff is, if you've never seen one of our cages up close, can they see that pretty good? All the holes for the seatbelt bungs are pre-cut. All the miters are done. Everything's notched. And literally, this thing fits together, you know, just like a puzzle. And everything is perfect. It's so good you can TIG weld it. I just MIG weld it. It's not worth the trouble to TIG weld. But every little thing is so nice. And what you do is you start from the front, from the A-pillar, and you work your way back. It just takes 2 ratchet straps, and all of these little joints like square up, and then you can just start tacking it together. And if you're not confident in your welding job, you can even hire a mobile welder. He'll come and weld it up for you, or you can tack it and pull it out and take it to somebody. But it's always best to build the cage in the Jeep that you want to put it in. But I'm telling you, the way all of this notches together, and every one has a part number lasered on it, so it's pretty easy to follow the diagram. And we have sold thousands of these cages between CJ, YJ, TJ, JK. So there's so many out there, and many people in their garage have done it. Many of the people that are watching right now, and I'm sure they can attest to, you know, it's definitely doable. Would I tell you that you could do it in a weekend? Probably not. You know, it's a, for first timer, a 5 or 7 day thing.
Richard Jodlowski said that he had a retired plumber installed one of them on his TJ. And
Nice.
Steve Bird said he did his install himself.
That's
and
right.
He enjoyed the project.
Yeah, and so did Kathy McCavis and her husband. So there's plenty of people watching that have done this themselves, and it is totally, it couldn't be any easier. Let me say it that way. Like the way we've put everything together, it's not even like you have to trim stuff to make it fit. If something doesn't fit, something else is wrong, like you've missed something. So it's pretty, I mean, it's the same way we do the suspension stuff. So it goes in one spot, you do it that way, and it's gonna work, so. Okay.
What transmission were you just showing? Was that the JK transmission?
No. So
JL?
that is my built 4L80 with a full manual valve body. So if you're not familiar with what that is I take the control of the transmission away from the computer. The only thing I want the computer to control is the electronic fuel injection on the engine, and that's it. I don't want it touching another single thing. I want control of everything else. So a full manual transmission, And this is one of the things that, when I invite you guys to come ride with me or come see me at an event, if you ever get a ride in something with a transmission like this, it is unbelievable. The closest thing that I can describe it to is it's like riding a dirt bike. You have full control of when you shift going up and full control of when you shift going down. And you have all the deceleration. It's not a cheap transmission. I don't want you to think this is something that's easy or inexpensive to do. But if you are looking for the ultimate performance, yes. I learned it from racing. Off-road, king of the hammers. But man, when you put it in a trail rig, it's second to none. You have such control of everything and how it shifts and when it shifts and how long you want to hold the gear or not hold the gear. I mean, it's just incredible how you can, especially when you combine it with a quality aftermarket torque converter, you can really control what's happening. And, when I'm pushing almost 700 horsepower, you can keep the rest of the drivetrain alive through a series of these things that I'm always preaching about. So,
Bad Rubicon, does the cage have to be pulled out afterwards for paint for a person that does not have a forklift and is thinking about doing a job like this in their garage?
Yeah, okay, so great question. First off, any of these cages can be pulled out with you and 3 other people. Like literally put one on every corner and they just pop right out. They're 299 pounds. So between 4 people, if you guys can't lift 299 pounds, you probably shouldn't even be wheeling because a tire weighs more than that, right? So it's not a big deal. So here's the deal, because people are asking these questions. You cannot finish weld the cage inside the Jeep. You can weld it maybe 3/4 of the way, but there's a lot of stuff you can't get to with the MIG gun. So you need to pull the cage out to finish welding it anyways. While it's out, you can rattle can it or go get it powder coated or just clear it, whatever you want to do, and then put it right back in. So it really doesn't take much. You don't need a forklift for sure. I've seen people, hoist it with a tree. I've seen some clever stuff, even using their own winch, up to get it back out. So, but 4 people is by far the easiest and best thing. So,
Rick McGuire said, I just put the 4-liter 80 with reverse manual valve body in my JKU, and I love it. Mated with a 6.0 LS.
Yes, see?
Oh, nice.
See, there you go. Somebody that's been listening. I like it. So, it's incredible, especially when we're hauling across the desert, the way that it smooths out the suspension as you're going through stuff. Like I say, if you ever get a chance to go for a ride, it is incredible. So
good to see Terremoto coming back.
I know,
to life.
it is, yeah. So we've done a lot of freshening up on it. Fox just completely, you probably want to slide to the side if you can, or maybe I could tilt this shock up. So Fox just freshened up the shocks, 100% for me. So they're basically brand new reservoirs, internals, shafts, seals, oil, and you can see they got the Cerakote, so they're that darker color. That's not a cheap option, but it is an option. I've got my favorite spring rates, which, if you buy suspension or shocks from us, then you get the benefit of that because that's the spring weights that we supply you guys. I don't know if you can spin a little bit. Here we can.
Yeah, we painted this axle today. Actually, we did a really nice job.
Does that help? Yep, and the air bumps got the same treatment, which you can see here. We got the front ones in. So, What else? Alan just put in a brand new steering box that I had redone over at Howe. Yeah. And we don't have the pitman arm on yet. We were looking for it right before the show. I've got to hook up the reservoirs. We got to remount the lights back on the bumper. We've got, some stuff to do, but I still have a few days to get all this stuff done.
What grade bolts are that hold the bumper to the frame?
Yeah, everything's grade 8. Yeah, I don't mess around with that at all. And if you've ever heard me talk before, the only thing I use is what's called, a bigger one, what's called a unitorque nut. And they have a little crown on them. And these nuts, when you take them off, let me find you a bolt that we've taken off.
42s for Terremoto?
What's that?
42s?
Well, I have brand new Raceline wheels if they show up in time. Okay, so when you take one of these nuts off, you can see that it peels the threads off. So basically, when these go on, that's it. And when you take them off, you just throw them away and get new bolts. Because but I can tell you this, these will not loosen up. So when you set the torque, they're there and they're done. And we found these through racing, and they're just absolutely badass. And you know, it's like $1 more at my cost, but so what? You know, to me, spend the extra $1 and get it done.
Is that a new frame?
No, this is just actually Alan touched this up for me today. Yeah, we basically, since the shocks were off, it made it really easy to touch up, paint the frame. Right. So yeah, I mean, nothing's really new. It's all just freshened up. So, yeah.
Mark Lawrence asked, when you say refreshing the shocks, how much will the savings be versus replacing them?
Oh, a lot. So a set of shocks like this is probably, I don't know, 10,000?
9,000.
Yeah. So, and it was 2,500 to freshen them up. So, yeah, big difference. And these are beat, right? I've raced like 3 different races on them. You know.
Closer.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Steve Vance asked, how much clearance between the R1 calipers and the wheels do you have?
Not much. Like it's so tight that when the rocks get in here, it scars the outside surface. I don't have a rim to put on, but there is. If you could slide a piece of cardboard through there, you'd be lucky. Yeah, it is the biggest. I mean, obviously that's probably why somebody's asking the question, because it is giant inside of a 17-inch wheel.
Okay, here's a question from Thurby JL. Tony, I have a well-built TJ, 4-inch Curry lift, built TJ, axles. All my friends are going 37 to 40-inch tires, and it's harder to keep up. Build TJ more or go to a JKU?
Okay, well, so you actually are in a unique situation because you can do our TJ to LJ conversion, and if Cameron's on, he can chime in with you. He did it. He's actually done it on 3 of them, I think, now. And that is absolutely an awesome way to go, because you can because, you know, look, if you go to sell your TJ, even though it's all built up, you're going to get pennies on the dollar for it. So, but to do the TJ to LJ, now you got a current rig. It stretches it to 115. A JK is only 116. So, plus you get a better approach and departure angle, and it's 4 inches more narrow. You're gonna outwheel all those guys if you build your TJ like that. Yeah. So, I mean, that would be the next thing I'm gonna build too. So, so that's a great question. And by the way, that TJ to LJ kit we sell, you can easily put it in. Cameron's first one that he bought from us, he did it without instructions. We didn't have them done, and he was like, come on, I want to get it. And he was able to put it together without anything. So, yeah, same thing. No that's right. It's just like our roll cage. It's all puzzled. What's that?
TJ to LJ for the win.
Yeah, for sure.
Does that front axle use a carrier bearing?
No. Up. You mean for the drive shaft? Is that what they're talking about? Or are they talking about my special tie rod saver?
Yes, it's a tie rod saver.
So, yeah, right, that's a needle bearing.
This goes up here, right?
Yeah, show them how that rolls. That's a special needle bearing. So if you hit the tie rod, it can't bend.
Oh,
it just pushes it against that bearing. Yeah, it's incredibly cool. Yeah, and whoever was just commenting about the R1 brakes, you can see that these are huge, and it's got an aluminum hat. So the weight of these is really, really reduced. For those with a very keen eye, these are 5/8 studs and no locking hub.
There's a lot of things these
He says unit bearing.
Oh, unit bearings, yes. But these are special ones. These are heat-treated 4340 like good stuff.
Asked, would you need special training to drive with a manual drive? I know it sounds simple, but I'm sure there are major do's and don'ts.
Okay, that's a great question. So I wouldn't call it special training. You're gonna go to the school of hard knocks pretty quick. What's gonna happen is that by doing that, all of your safeties are gone. So you know how right now if you put your key in the ignition and it's not in park, it won't start, all of the safeties that you know of in your vehicle are gone. So basically if it's left in gear and you fire it up, it's gonna take off in forward, reverse, whatever. You need to have your foot, it's like riding a dirt bike. That's why I described it as a dirt bike. If you try to start your dirt bike and you don't have the clutch pulled in, man, you get what you get. Like you're gonna go flying. So you just gotta think through the process of, what it is. But I'm telling you, when you're driving it, there is nothing better, nothing. You have absolute control.
Matt McDonough asked, will daily driving your Jeep with coilovers shorten the coilover's life by a lot?
No, not at all. In fact, the coilover is such a high quality shock that, driving on the street, you're not even, it's like driving a 3/4 ton truck or a 1 ton truck, right? You're not even working that engine and transmission, right? So you put a giant shock on like this that's used to being on a, full race desert vehicle, and it's not working at all. So no.
Mike Stewart asks your thoughts on REM polished gears.
So I love polished gears. So whether it's tranny or differentials, we polish the gears inside the winches. We polish the gears inside the transfer cases. Like there's little tricks.
A lot of tricks.
Yeah, and what that does, if to a layman, here's what it does: is it means you don't have to break them in. So it's because normally when you break in a gear, what you're doing is you're taking off all the manufacturing marks, right, and getting it to where everything meshes perfect. Well, when they're polished, you get that right from the get-go. So we learned a lot of that from racing, because when you get out to the race, you don't have time to warm up everything and break it all in. It's like you hit the track and you got to go. So we learned all that a long time ago. But I'm a huge fan of polished stuff for sure.
Do you have any updates on the 42-inch Baja Boss?
Well, I was hoping that I would be able to roll one in here and stoke you guys out today, but I didn't get across the street, and I don't know if they showed up yet. Cool. But they're on the way.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Will Terremoto
I got shipping notification.
Ever go on portals?
No. Portals are, how do I put this? Let's back way up. If you ever wheel with me, I will get on the radio and yell at you if you're trying to drive around the rocks, right? We built rock crawlers, okay? You crawl the rocks. You don't drive over the middle of the rocks. Like that's something that somebody on a portal would want to do. You don't need that stuff. And you take away all your up travel. So the thing ends up looking like a monster truck. By the time you get the proper amount of up travel, the thing sits so darn high, then your center of gravity is terrible. It just, the whole thing's thrown off. And I'll go back to this. Tony Pellegrino, have the opportunity to run the best stuff in the world. They will give it to me, okay? If I wanted portals, I'd be on portals. I'm telling you. This is the setup. Right?
Point.
Right?
Right.
He's
not lying. Today I saw a few things on this thing, and it's all billet, and I want. So there's a few things that I want now.
Yeah, so what we do is, I'm telling you guys the right direction to go. There is always other special, better stuff. What he's talking about is I'm running the billet Johnny joints. Okay. Now those are, 4 times the price of a regular Johnny joint. So it's hard for me to recommend to somebody, to go, oh, you should get these, because you're going to be like, dude, yeah, even these hubs.
This is all chromoly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, super thick wall, heat treated. Really good stuff. And then I'm running the ball joint deletes from American Iron. And then these Fox shocks, are internal bypass. They've got high and low speed adjusters. This is, the trick stuff. And I've
Mike
got,
Stewart, Alan, aren't you running portals and ORIs?
Oh God, no.
No.
Oh my gosh, Bad Rubicon, in Pellegrino we trust. Bob Becker asks, the box you just replaced, is that what they refer to as the big box?
No. So I call BS on that. I don't like that at all. I guess they can't even see it. Do we have another one that's out?
What?
The steering box. Because did you notice that is not a regular JK box?
Of course not. It's a big board.
No. So remember the box you grabbed earlier?
Yeah.
It's that, but that's been extended.
Oh, wow.
So what I run, and I'm sorry we don't have an extra one out. Grab that one that you had earlier and bring it over here.
Mine is a big board PSC, but it's not like that.
Not like this. So, okay. So right there on the table. Right. Whoa, left. Behind the water bottle. There you go. Okay. So this is what I'm running. So this is what's called a Saginaw steering box, okay? These Saginaw boxes, they don't make products like this anymore, okay? This one happens to be made by AGR. But these boxes have a giant piston inside. The gears are good quality. You've got, right here is a little tiny torsion bar that you can tune how the wheel feels based on your input. You can make it so it's like super easy, or you can make it so it has a little bit of toughness to it. Then you combine this with a ram and you've got a tremendous amount of steering power. The other thing about the Saginaw box is you can get different ratios. So most steering boxes that come in these vehicles are 4-to-1. That's terrible. Okay,
Terrible.
I run 3-to-1.
3-to-1.
Jordan used to run 2-to-1. So, which is what Peter's running now, 2-to-1. So when you go fast, you need more of a twitch to be able to get through the stuff. Mm-hmm. So, and what you guys are referring to as the big bore box takes more power, like I'm talking about from the pump, to make it react fast. Well, it's got bigger internals, so what do you think happens? It's just like sluggish. So this is the absolute ultimate. So, but this is completely fabricated, bitchin' stuff. Expensive, right? It's from Howe, and what do you want? Again, just like I told you guys, if it's the best, I'm running it, right? So, I will only talk to you and try and sell you what I'm running, right? And we talked about this on the last show.
Literally go across the street and
get these parts.
Of it.
Yeah,
Every
from the
single
building.
part.
Yeah.
Every single part.
So, but what I talked about last time was like, hey, I know everybody is on a budget, right? Whatever their budget is, and I'm trying to tell you the right way to do it the first time. Okay, you can take what you want from that. I'm not saying that you have to do that. I'm not gonna poo-poo you for not doing that. But I'm here to tell you and dispel everything else you've heard about what the right way to do it is. So, take it for what it's worth, right? So, because a lot of people out there either don't know what the right way is, or they're telling you some other BS that they make profit on, for themselves. So.
Scott Zietler says hi and asked, why does a Kingpin setup lose so much steering? Set up a loose so much steering. I don't know if that's a little typo.
So Kingpin is a little bit different. I happen to like the ball joint because the C is much bigger. The Kingpin, the C is very small. And I know a lot of people go, well, the ball joints, trust me, out of KOH, I've seen plenty of Kingpins break too. Okay, so don't even go there with me. The Kingpin is no more superior. Now, are there more companies that make stuff? There were until these ball joint elites came out. So now this kind of a setup is actually pretty nice, and you get full double shear, right?
Everything.
Everything. Like
question about Ball joint deletes, are they good for, or are the American Iron ball joint deletes good for wheeling and everyday driving on a JK?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So I got some of the early ones that required welding in. Now they've actually got the press-in ones. I don't even know if they still make the weld-in ones. I really prefer the weld-in ones. I like those a lot.
And Mike
Especially for
Stewart
what I'm doing.
says, don't forget the pulley you have.
The pulley?
I don't.
The steering pulley?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one over there, a blue one on the table if you want to grab that. So the steering pulley, which I am running, I changed the size so that it drives 10% more. And it's also vented. So this is pulling air across the pump to help keep it cool. Believe it or not, when you're really pushing your steering, you know, you add all this stuff and it's higher pressure and you got big tires, your steering temps will go up to 300 degrees. So that is very, very hot. So you need to do everything you can with coolers and you know, airflow to help keep that temperature down.
Steve Van says, Tony, the guys want you to bring both Terremoto and
I'm
Aftershock
sure.
to JK Land.
I'm sure. Well, this is still my favorite Jeep, and I'm trying to get my JL to drive like this. That is my goal, is to change my JL steering to what I have in here. Just keep converting everything to what this is.
Okay.
Not a race Jeep.
Yeah.
Other question, is Terremoto going to get the EXS suspension?
At some point it will, because then I can run a 14-inch front shock, which would require a carrier bearing on the front drive shaft, yes.
Will that pulley work on a YJ?
It will. It's on our website, and it's made for, yeah, it tells you the bore size, so you just have to measure your shaft and make sure that that's the shaft on your pulley, but yeah.
Does American make the ball joint delete for a Curry high pinion Dana 44?
I'm pretty sure they do, which, you know, in that case, you just probably have to send them a picture of the knuckle so that they can identify whether it's a 44 knuckle or a 60 knuckle and get you the right ball joint for that.
Mike Stewart wants to know, A to Z, what's new on the Terremoto from past?
So, okay, a great question. So since I blew up the transmission, what that does is it sends particles, metal, through the cooling lines and the transmission cooler. All of that stuff got thrown away and replaced with brand new, okay? In addition to the transmission, the stuff that it ate, it also wrecked the case. So I upgraded to the Reed heavy duty case. The torque converter was cut in half and cleaned, because you have to be very careful about getting all of that metal debris out of the transmission, because you saw all the small orifices everything has to travel through. The transfer case is the same. That was relatively recently refreshed from just before KOH. What else new? The shocks, I'm super happy about the shocks. So just before I tore this down, Mike Kim from Fox, who is their main guy that race tunes all the fast vehicles, happened to ride with me in this. And he's like, Tony, send these shocks back to me. I want to do a few new tricks to them. So I don't even totally understand what's done in here yet, but I can't wait to find out. So other than that, I put on a new front bumper. I do need to put on a brand new side mirror, because I saw I kicked up a rock and smashed that one. It's in the Jeep already. What else? So like I told you guys, I'm replacing every single bolt with a brand new bolt. None of those bolts are going to get reused.
Fresh oil.
Fresh oil, yep. So really, you know, we've just retouched everything to make sure that it's, I also did some new heat wrap. So I rewrapped with the DEI tunnel shield. I saw a piece of it in here someplace. So this goes on the hoses. This is what you guys see right here. It's actually Velcro, and you just put it around the stuff. And this will keep a lot of heat off. You can actually put, you know, fire directly to this, which in my case is what happened. And then I re-shielded the whole tunnel, all brand new. What else did I do down here? New bushings for the transmission. You know, because I had it all apart, so I might as well put them in. I am going to rebuild the Johnny joints, and just looking underneath here. Oh, I'm going to relocate my. I have this little bottle right here. So for racing, they make you run this kind of a containment container, and this one was for the transmission. So this used to be in the back. I'm now going to move this up toward the front, and I'm going to change how this works. But if you've never seen one of these, they're really cool. So this comes off the transmission, and if it's overflowing, it flows into this bottle. Well, this little bottle can fill up, and when it gets toward the top, then it starts to come out this little hose here, which actually runs back to the transmission. So no fluid is hitting the ground. It's a really cool setup. It's actually required by the rules, and you can also drain it. So if I want to check to see if there's anything in here, I can drain it. So I am going to remount that. And I think I told you I replaced the front bumper. That's new. I sold the other one. Somebody wanted it, so that was cool.
Can you explain a two-piece drive shaft and carrier bearing?
Sure. What happens is, can you see like right up through here?
Let's see.
Even if you have to lower it. Okay, so can everybody see my hand? Can you see through the bars right there?
Yeah.
Might have to go to manual focus, yeah.
Sort of.
Okay, so what happens is if the front axle can travel too far, the U-joint cannot handle that kind of an angle. So what happens is you have to have a short drive shaft that is then held on a carrier bearing, and then the drive shaft then goes from there. So there's a couple of misunderstandings. So you guys have heard of high angle drive lines, you know, that can run at a higher degree of angle. The problem is those can't run flat. The moment you run them flat, they stop lubing and seize up. So that's why a lot of people, when they call me or call us at GenRight and say, well, I want 16s or 18s, like, guys, we've already designed all this stuff for the absolute max down, max up. And by the way, you know, you're maxing out all of your steering components, your drive shafts. We've maximized every single piece. Okay, that's part of the benefit of what you get from buying from GenRight, is we've designed this stuff as a system. We didn't just find all these pieces at some hardware store and, you know, start bolting them together for you. So yeah. And everything I'm telling you, we've proven over the years. So,
yeah. Okay, going back to the 4180 with manual valve body.
Yeah.
What does the shifter look like, and does it work like an automatic transmission, or does it have a third pedal to shift?
No. So think of it as it is an automatic transmission, but you shift it manually, so there's no clutch, right? So now in my vehicle, you know how in a regular manual gearbox, you have to let off the gas, push in the clutch, shift the gear. Well, in one of these, you just stand on the throttle and grab the gears going up or down. And by the way, it'll do whatever you want, right? So if you're on the freeway and you're screaming at 70, 80 miles an hour and you shift it to first gear, it's going to first gear. So you're going to lose control. That's what I was talking about. All those safeties, yeah, those are gone. So you need to know what you're doing. Hey, by the way, it'll go to reverse too. Yeah. Like there's no safety whatsoever.
Is that the factory frame?
This is the factory frame. And this is all our standard elite kit brackets.
Is live valve in the future?
You know, I've only talked to them about it. We haven't actually I've never even ridden in one. But they're testing it, I can tell you that. So a lot.
We have a couple more questions.
I actually talked to the guys at JRI Shocks about that probably 10 years ago. they do it for the military, and they're like way ahead of everybody. And that one is actually so bitchin'. It can read the terrain live, or say it's a race course that you've already gone around. You can actually tell it, like right here, go to full stiff or full soft, and it watches on a GPS to where you are and changes the suspension. It's bitchin'.
What stall converter? 4,000?
4,000. Yes.
Which Jeep are you bringing to Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion this year?
I'd like to bring this one.
Terremoto.
I think it's gonna make it.
I think it's gonna make it.
Okay,
yeah.
Tim Hagen has a long question. For an
Okay.
05 LJ running a 05 plus Super Duty Dana 60 and a GM Corporate 14 bolt with billet aluminum upper and lower control arms with a 111-inch wheelbase, GenRight steel rock sliders and GenRight aluminum front tub, half door and rear tub stretched body armor, what do you recommend for spring rates for 14-inch travel Fox 2.0 coilovers? I'm currently at 300 at each corner, and it's too soft and has a little bit too much body roll.
Okay, well there should be 2 spring rates on there. So I'll give you an idea. Like I'm running a 200 over a 250. Okay, and I'm doing that all the way around. Now, my vehicle, I don't change the weight in it much, right? And if I do, I change the preload or where the secondary nuts kick in, right? And what that does is it eliminates the upper spring and only rides on the lower spring. So we've got a form on my Tech Talk drop down that you can download. If you fill all that in, because it asks you a bunch of questions about extended, compressed, where you're at ride height, what your nitrogen level is, how much shock shaft is showing, where all these settings are. If you fill all that out, I can give you super accurate information about what spring rates you should ride. But I almost guarantee you, can they see this right here?
Yeah.
Can you, yeah? You need to move over a little more. Does that give you a little more room?
So
Come in
follow up
closer.
on that. What's a good
So-
starting
so-
point for rear spring rates on a stretched 2006 LJ with 14-inch coilovers?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, I used to run like a 150 over 150 or a 150 over 200, but almost everybody takes these secondary nuts and just rolls them up out of the way, and that's a huge mistake. This is where the second spring rate kicks in, which makes the vehicle feel so much more stable. So it's common. People just don't understand how this works, and it's all I do is talk about this stuff. So I'm happy to help. Okay, just download that form and fill it in.
Mike's jail wrangler wants to know, how did you get into the 4x4 life?
So I come from dirt bikes. I grew up riding racing dirt bikes. And I love off-roading. I love anything on wheels, certainly off-roading. And that's one of those things where as I got older and crashing on a dirt bike didn't appeal to me as much, I got into 4 wheels and just never looked back and having a great time. And been basically applying all the stuff that I learned on suspension to a 4-wheel drive.
Mac McDonough says, I have standard width Pro Rock 4460 combo on my 2008 JKU with a Hemi and 8-speed transmission. Does the Elite coilover suspension require wider axles? And does the flat belly pan work for Hemi swaps?
All great questions. So we run, you see this right here? This is where when you put the wheel on, it pushes up against right here. Right here. Okay, that's called the wheel mounting surface, or WMS. And we run 70 inches from this side to that side. Now, some people run a little bit wider if they're going to 42s, but we really like 70. 70 is what everything we've designed is built around. And many of our customers are running 42s on this width as well. So I'm not exactly sure where yours are, if they're 70 or 68 or 9. What happens is, at full articulation, the tire starts to get into the shocks and other things, or turning, it's hitting the control arms. So that's why we chose, again, guys, we designed this as a system. We've completely optimized everything. The scrub radius, the caster, you know, just the whole 9 yards has been built into all this stuff. So the good news is you're watching Tech Talk, so you're on the right path to getting your Jeep set up right. Now the other side of it is the Hemi. So you can make changes to the Hemi engine, meaning you can change the oil pan and get the full, what we call stuff out of it. So, which would be compression, right? You want to be able to have as much up travel as you can, and that also allows you to get the vehicle to sit a little bit lower. Because you do a flat belly, that means that you don't have to have the thing sit as high to get the same breakover. We've talked about this many, many times. And you can watch previous Tech Talks over on YouTube where we go into more detail on this, where we talk about breakover angle and all those things. So.
What caster will that setup be?
This one?
Yeah.
This is 10 degrees.
Bobby Belomi asked, for those who can't afford an Elite kit, do you have any recommendations for a JKU mostly daily driver but hard on the weekends to run 37s?
I mean, there's, we were talking about this earlier today, there's lots of production kits out there, you know, Rock Crawler and so forth, you know, they're decently made, you know. Again, don't fool yourself. You're getting what you're paying for. You're not getting this. I don't care if they offer a coilover, it's not this. You know, unless you're spending the money, like I said, you know, 3-inch coilover like this in King or Fox is going to be $10,000. You're talking about a lot of money. And you can't buy $3,000 worth of coilovers and expect them to act and perform like this. It's just not going to happen. You get what you pay for. Alan's chuckling.
It's because why would you want to spend your money like 3 or 4 times?
Well, and that's what happens, right? So many times people don't listen, right? And they go down the path that they are like, okay, this is what I can afford right now. But in the end, you end up spending the same money that you could have had the good stuff.
Even more.
Now, it takes more patience, right? So
you can do what Andrew Harris did. Be patient and buy
save
parts,
your money.
buy
Yep.
parts, buy part, pile, and until he got it all.
Yep. Yep.
Took a while, but now he has one of the sickest rigs.
Yeah.
Well, Tyler Hagan said he's listening. He's watching all the Tech Talks and finally listening to you and changing all my suspension to GenRight. Just need to sell all my old stuff.
That's right. And that's an important thing to do. Just because you've outgrown it doesn't mean that it's not a gem to somebody else. All the time, parts we take off sell for top dollar. I mean, there's other people with sports that would love to have Rubicon stuff. I mean, don't second guess yourself that somebody wants those parts. I'm talking about right down to like the padding off the roll cage. Somebody wants that. They screwed theirs up and they're willing to pay. So, yeah.
Okay, we're all caught up.
Nice. Nice.
Trivia question?
What's that?
Trivia question.
Oh yeah, trivia question.
This
Okay.
is a speed one.
So
Pay attention.
yeah, when she says speed, you're going to
First
need to
person to answer wins.
be quick.
It's an easy one.
It's an easy one, and this is for a $100. Where's the card? Right here.
And we have
$100
2 platforms, so
K&N
first one to answer correctly.
gift card. And the question is, what does CJ stand for? So first person to get that, you get it. All right. Other than that,
Come on, you guys.
okay, let's spin around while everybody's
Sam
thinking
Walker,
about that.
civilian Jeep.
There you go. Excellent. Okay.
Woohoo! Go
so
Sam.
spin around for me.
Sam, do you have? We have Sam's contact
I know
info?
exactly how to get a hold of Sam.
Alright.
Okay.
You win a
let's
$100 gift card.
let's focus on this for 1 second. I will be in Hot Springs, Arkansas, July 14 through 16. Then I'm going over to JK Land in Atlanta, July 22nd. I'm doing a thing with them. Then August, a month later, August 24th through 27th, I'll be at Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. After that, we're wheeling at Windrock, for a day. So this is all the stuff I've got for you East Coasters coming up. Like, you've been begging for me to come out there, like, track me down and say hi.
I'm gonna push him to see if I can squeeze a couple of days to go to Pennsylvania.
Oh, maybe. I might be able to pull out. I haven't been to Roush in a long time, and I'd love to go back. So that could happen probably before this. Like if I left a little bit early, I could do it. Yes.
And then that way you go back here, and then from there.
Yeah. So, and then of course, if you're on the West Coast, big event, Trail Hero, and
My favorite.
then our Turkey Run, which is also awesome. So.
Well, every time I keep saying this is my favorite. Oh, this is my favorite.
This
This is freaking unbelievable. The past year, I mean,
It is.
listen, it's crazy. It's almost like KOH. It's
It
so
is.
much people.
And we're
It's
wheeling
like,
a lot.
It's like wait until Thursday. The people rolling in like crazy.
Yeah. So we look. We don't do anything that sucks. So come join us. Even if you want to ride along, just come over and talk to us. It's the reason I go out to these things, like to meet people, look at their Jeeps, talk to them. So by all means, swing by, say hi, get a ride, whatever that looks like. Happy to talk to you. So
Guys, this is fun. If you really like the really hardcore wheeling, this is fun.
But the next thing is Hot Springs. So by all means, join us July 14 through 16. So that's not far away.
All right.
All right. So thanks again, everybody, for joining us. And next Wednesday, I will be coming to you live from somewhere, probably in Oklahoma. All right.
Stay tuned.